The end of summer holds a special kind of melancholy for people of a certain age, like, say, mine. The air gets cooler, you can smell autumn looming, the kids head back to school, and you find yourself dreaming of new beginnings, of paths you didn't take but still could, maybe. Then you snap out of it, get in the car, and head to work. But not my next two guests, both former journalists. One left her job covering music to start making it, now pointing out songs like this with her band Field Day.
What do you do to move the water? Out of body, out of mind. You take the sons but prefer the daughters.
And both join me now, Joan, Anderman, the musician, and Nina MacLaughlin, the carpenter and writer. And I should mention my former colleague and friend at the Boston Phoenix. So thank you both for being here. Nina, let me start with you.
Sure.
How did you decide that you were going to leave the Phoenix and go become a carpenter?
Sure. I loved working at the Phoenix. It was a great place to work.
Great people.
Great people.
Right, yeah.
Great people. A pleasure every day. But my job was, I was one of the editors of the website, so it was just a lot of scrolling and clicking, which got a little bad for my soul. So just sort of quit wanting to do something that didn't have to do with a screen, and happened upon a Craigslist posting about 6 desperate months later from a woman who was looking for a carpenter's assistant. So applied and got the job.
When that happened, and I didn't ask you about this, and it reflects badly on me that I didn't, did you get sort of surprised reactions from your family or your friends? Were there people who were saying, what the hell are you doing? And, you know, we did not send you to the schools we did or raise you the way we did so that you'd be a carpenter?
You know, mostly people were really supportive. I think, you know, people were sort of delighted and surprised. I think there were a couple who were certainly kind of raised eyebrows and a little bit skeptical, and also thinking like, oh, what a lark, you know, to try this thing. I hope that at this point, 6 years later, it's become more than a lark. But yeah, so it was sort of a range of reactions.
All right, Joan Anderman, I see you nodding your head in agreement.
Yes.
Tell me, before you describe the reactions that you got, what was the catalyst for you?
Well, the catalyst, there were several. There were many catalysts. One was a Jimmy Buffett concert, but I'm not going to go into that.
A Jimmy, really?
Well, it was sort of emblematic of the series of catalysts. It was, you know, I was definitely experiencing job burnout. I think I had gotten to a point in my life, I'm some years older than you are, and I think I'd really gotten to a point in my life where I needed a change too, you know, above and beyond just wanting to alter the activities, what I was doing in my life. So it was a slow dawning, and it took place over a couple of years, and I got to a point where I realized that I wanted to be a musician quite some time after I knew that I wanted to leave my job and do something else.
When you made the move, what did your kids have to say? What did your colleagues at the Globe have to say? Did people think it was a lark, as Nina put it?
Well, nobody came out and said that, but I got, you know, quite a variety of reactions. I think people were stunned. I think people were envious. It takes a certain amount of courage to do this, or insanity. I mean, you can pick whichever word you want. But it was definitely a leap of faith, and I think I've stuck with it a lot longer than people thought I would, and it's very much not a lark. It's really how I spend most of my time. I'm still working as a freelance journalist, but I spend a lot of my time, you know, becoming a musician.
So for both of you, and these are huge questions, and of course we have like 3 minutes left, but existentially, what do your new roles that you've embraced give you that your old roles didn't? And either one of you, feel free to hop in.
Go ahead.
Wow. Well, I've talked about this before, a sense of possibility for the future that I didn't have, a sense of excitement about the future and my potential. It's really, it's frightening, but it's also really intoxicating to be a beginner at something for me, and I'm really enjoying that a lot.
It's really interesting to hear you put it that way, because that is something that we totally forget as we age. Nina, what about you?
I was actually just going to say the same thing, sort of the amount that I have left to learn, you know, that the things that I know, how much better I can get at them, and how much there is still to know. So it still feels extremely challenging, which is, you know, the most important thing, I think.
You know, one thing that just occurred to me is that you might have gotten some pushback from people in your chosen new professions who also might have thought you were doing this as a lark. Like, what's this woman doing, dropping in, thinking she can be a musician or a carpenter? Did that happen at all?
I was really apprehensive about that, and was pleasantly surprised to find that was a complete opposite I have felt so much support and encouragement from people in the local music scene and in the local media. Nothing but good cheer and excitement for me.
Nina, what about you?
Yeah, likewise. I feel lucky to work with some pretty amazing people. My boss is incredible and has been a great sort of guide and mentor. And all the people that we work for, you know, everyone sort of feels, you know, gosh, this is great. Keep it up. You know.
Well, I was hoping for more tales of conflict. But, so if there is anyone watching, I'm not including myself in this, I'm quite happy here at WGVH, but if there's anyone watching who is contemplating a similarly radical move, one bit of advice you might give him or her?
I would say it will be terrifying. You'll spend a lot of nights awake fretting about health insurance and paying rent or mortgages, and that, I don't know, I mean, it's probably going to be worth it, you know, but it's scary.
Joan?
I second that, and I like to think about, you know, the finances in terms of one form of currency. You know, there are other forms of currency in life and compensation, and I think it's really important to think about all the ways you can sort of be compensated as a human being, and you know, if it's right for you and if it works for you, it's an amazing thing. It's a huge world, and there's a lot more out there than perhaps what you're doing at this very moment in time.
Joan, Anderman, Nina, MacLaughlin, thank you both.
Yeah, thank you.